Okay, welcome to today's class. Today we're going to focus on the novel Strangers on a Train by Patricia Highsmith. It's a crime novel, and we're going to focus on the first page, the penultimate paragraph. So chapter 1, first page, and penultimate means the one before last. So not the last paragraph, but the one before the last paragraph on page 1. Okay, and it starts, maybe your version might not be the same type, size as my version. So it starts with the sentence, he did not think Miriam would be having a child unless, okay, that's what it starts with. And I wanted to focus on this paragraph and the next paragraph, yeah, so the penultimate paragraph and the last paragraph, because I noticed that it's a very clear explanation, or I think it demonstrates very clearly why we use past perfect, okay, which is had and the third form, or past perfect continuous, had been doing. And we use past perfect always in relation to past tense, maybe past simple, maybe past continuous, or maybe a past date, yeah, something in the past. And it's when we go earlier than past simple or past continuous or a past date. So maybe that sounds a bit confusing to you, but Strangers on a Train starts with two men sitting on a train, and guess what? They're strangers, yeah, at the beginning. And all of the events from the train are in past simple and past continuous, but anything that had happened before those events on the train is in past perfect. And so you can really see when you're reading the penultimate and the last paragraph that past perfect is a narrative tense. It's used for narratives, and I mean stories. And it's when you're telling a story in the past tense and you go even earlier than that past. I think of it as the past, earlier than your main narrative, which is already in the past. So the main narrative is on the train, but anything earlier than the train is in past perfect. So we start with one of our main guys, one of the strangers on a train. His name is Guy, and he is thinking about a previous relationship that he had with a woman called Miriam, and he's clearly not happy about how this relationship ended. And we hear, while he's sitting on the train, he did not think Miriam would be having a child unless she wanted it. Okay, so this woman that he had a relationship with, she is now going to have a baby, yeah, or she was having a baby. And this is why we see this would be having a child. We could say he did not think Miriam would have a child, but that doesn't make it clear that she is pregnant at that moment. And she was pregnant while he was sitting on the train. And that's why the writer, Patricia, has decided to say would be having. He did not think Miriam would be having. That means she was in the middle of having a child, yeah? This continuous form, this is modal continuous. Continuous is used always to mean in the middle of something. And so he did not think Miriam would be in the middle of having a child unless she wanted it. Okay, so he knows that she wants the child. Now, because this happened on the train, this is past simple. Yeah, it's all past simple, past continuous, and modal continuous. He did not think Miriam would be having a child unless she wanted it. Okay, which should mean the lover intended, past simple, to marry her. Yeah, and he intended while they were on the train. He guessed anyway that the lover intended to marry her. Okay, and then he asks, why had she sent for him? And we use this had she sent past perfect because she sent for him earlier than the train. She sent for him before he got on the train. And so that's why we suddenly go back to past perfect. It's earlier than the events from the train. And this is always why we use past perfect. It's when it's earlier than something else, some other past simple or past continuous moment. So why had she sent for him before he got on the train? She didn't need him to get a divorce. Now, she didn't need him to get a divorce while he was sitting on the train. And so this is just in past simple. She didn't need him to get a divorce. why did he go over the same old ground he had? Now, it doesn't put gone over in the text, but this is ellipsis. Patricia doesn't need to say gone over, because it's clear when you say, why did he go over the same old ground he had 5 days ago? Yeah. And so it means, why did he go over the same old ground he had gone over 5 days ago? But it's very clear, and you just use the auxiliary verb had and drop the main verb gone over, and still everybody understands you mean gone over, because go over is there. Why did he go over the same old ground he had 5 days ago? Now you can see why this must be past perfect, because of the 5 days ago. This is 5 days earlier than the events from the train. And so